Hi, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to my first book review in probably 4.5 to 5 years. So today I'm going to be reviewing Rules to Catch a Devilish Duke by Suzanne Enoch. Spoiler alert, I did not like this book. I will go into why in a minute. First off, I will talk about the plot. So there will be some spoilers for the plot. It's a romance novel and I did not like it. So I don't feel too bad about spoiling it. So the plot of this novel is fairly simple. There are two main characters, as usual in a romance novel, Sophia and Adam. Sophia is the illegitimate daughter of a duke, and Adam is a duke. They're not related, obviously, but Sophia is the illegitimate daughter of a duke, and Adam is a duke. And I guess this is the third novel in a series, and they kind of rely a little bit on you having known these two characters in the second novel, which I really hate when they do that, but they kind of go over what they didn't really have a relationship, but they sort of saw each other in the second one. But Sophia is friends with another woman who is now married to a member of the peerage, and they were invited to the Duke's house party, Adam's house party, and as a favor to them, Adam has also invited Sophia because, she is friends with his friends. And so she decides to spend her Christmas at Adam's place. Adam has also invited a whole lot of ladies to his house because it's like the end of December, I think, at this point, or close to it. And he has until the beginning of February to get married. Otherwise, he will lose every single piece of unentailed property. If you don't know, with this time period, there's entailed property and unentailed property. Entailed just means it's all the property that goes with the title. So it's all the stuff that you can't just sell off. It belongs to the title. And you can't sell it off even if you own it. Like, it just, you're not allowed to. Unentailed just means it's something you bought outside of, the inherited stuff, and you can sell it off. So he's going to lose £500,000, which is just a ton of money, and like pretty much all of his properties except like one. And so he needs to marry, and so he's got all these eligible ladies that are going to be coming, but the bridge that goes to his estate collapses, and it just so happens that Sophia is the only one to get across the bridge before it collapses, and so it's basically just Adam and Sophia alone in his mansion. His sister's there too, and she's a bitch, and I hate her, but I feel like she could have been utilized a lot more. So it's like, yeah, his sister sucks, but she was just kind of so-so as a villain, I guess. And so Adam and Sophia are alone together, and they get together really quickly. Like, they make a bet and say, oh, what'll you give me if I win? A kiss. Well, what'll you give me if I win? I'll also give you a kiss. And they make out. And then, like, within the first 100 pages of the book, I'm pretty sure, I think they've slept together, or we're pretty close. And they sleep together a lot. And so it's just the two of them for half the novel until the bridge is finally fixed. And then the rest of the party can come in, and it's like, oh, okay, well, now I gotta look for a bride. All right. And, him and Sophia still hang out, and they still have sex. And the obvious solution does not occur to either of them until way later in the book, which really annoyed me, but I'll talk about that later. So the reason Sophia, her kind of issue, because Adam's issue is that he has to get married or he's going to lose all his money. Since she is the illegitimate daughter of a duke, that duke wants to basically ship her off to the furthest reaches of the country, and he's marrying her off to a vicar. he's a priest father. He runs a local parish. And he says, if you don't do this, I will ruin the club that you worked at. She worked at this club, basically it's a gentleman's club. She wasn't doing anything necessarily super inappropriate, but it's of course inappropriate for a lady at that time to do. She was dealing cards and I think serving drinks and things like that. But this place was basically a home to her, and her father says, I will completely ruin this club if you do not marry. And so she's just resigned to the fact that she's got to marry this vicar, way off in the countryside. She can't do anything about it, so she's just going to have one last fun holiday and then be shipped off forever. And of course, eventually, Adam chases after her and is like, oh, I'll marry you instead, and that'll solve both our problems. And it ends. And yeah, so that's the plot. And if you think that sounds stupid and boring and maybe I left something out, you are wrong. This novel had such a thin plot where barely anything happened. It drove me bonkers. So let's go into the actual review portion of this, because oh my gosh, this drove me nuts. So like I was saying, they don't figure out the obvious solution until probably 50 pages before the end of the book. And okay, Adam knows that there are no stipulations on who he has to marry by the beginning of February. He just has to get married. That's it. There's no other stipulations. And he's a duke. He's very powerful. So the threat of Sophia's father trying to ruin the club is kind of negated when another duke can throw his weight behind it. And this should have been, this whole story should have been, that whole thing should have been within the first 50 to 100 pages of them realizing, oh, we can get married and solve both of our problems. And then the rest of it could have been them falling in love and figuring, oh yeah, we have love in common, blah, 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 typical marriage of convenience thing. Instead, it was a really boring slog where neither of them realized this obvious solution, and just the characters were so boring. So, okay, maybe this could have worked if you really liked the characters and maybe they had another plot going on, but they were literally just at this house, just doing the mundane stuff with no other actual plot going. Because you already knew that, okay, well, Sophia's just hanging out at the party until she has to get married off, and Adam's looking for a wife. That's it. Those are the stakes. And it was so boring. And then they got together and they had sex really quickly. And that's not always a problem in some of these novels. Sometimes it's like one night of passion and I'll never see you again. And that can work sometimes. I've read some novels where that actually works fine. But even though that was kind of what was happening, there were no consequences because of that. It was just, oh, hey, we're both here. There's really nobody else around. We're bored and you're hot, so let's do it. And oh God. It wasn't bad. It wasn't like I wanted to throw the book across the wall. And it's not like I was, gonna not finish it. But it was very mediocre. And that's what drives me crazy. Also, the title has absolutely nothing to do with the story, and apparently that is a complaint about this whole series. There are 3 books in this Tantalus series. Tantalus is the name of the club that her and the other 2 ladies worked at. Apparently the titles do not match at anything to do with what happens in the book. Even the cover art is apparently not correct. The cover art in here is fine for the characters, but apparently the other ones, they didn't even match what the characters look like. So I don't know why, rules to catch a devilish duke. She's not trying to catch him. And there are no rules. It's not like, oh, hey, I have set up these rules. Because sometimes in novels where they have these fun titles, they start up like, my rules to catch a duke. You must do this and this. And it's funny and it's silly. And usually it leads into something funny. That's not in here at all. And the title itself sounded very interesting. And the back was sort of, it was intriguing enough because I thought it was going to go the marriage of convenience route, but they actually aren't even married by the end of the novel. That also annoys me because there's no resolution to things, no epilogue or anything. Apparently that's a complaint also of the other two. They basically make you have to assume that everything goes okay, but you don't actually see it. So they say, oh, marry me and it'll solve both our problems. And then it ends. And of course she says yes, whatever. But they don't go with the wedding and his sister getting booted out on her butt and all this other stuff. And I hated it. I wanted more resolution. I wanted the denouement, because basically that was the climax. The climax was, hey, marry me and solve our problems. And then you're supposed to have like a little tiny bit at the end after the climax. That's what you're supposed to have. They did not have that. And it drives me absolutely bonkers. I've said that a million times. But I just didn't like this book. And I will try to read her other book. It's in a different series. But if it's anything like this one, I'm not looking forward to it because the characters are boring. There was barely a plot. And they were very stupid. These characters were so stupid. They had an obvious solution right there. And they didn't see it. And don't make your characters stupid. Don't set up something cool and then not go through with it. So, yeah. Were there any things that I liked about this? Not really. I mean, the writing was fine. The sex scenes and stuff were fine. But there were so many good ideas in here that she just never went in the right direction with. So no, I would not recommend this book. It's just it's, even for a popcorn novel, it's not even that fun. Because, no, the stakes are so low and it's just so mediocre. Whoa. So yeah, don't read this one. It's not good. I don't like it. But yeah, so that was my review of Rules to Catch a Devilish Duke by Suzanne Enoch. I'm sorry if you're a fan of her. Like I said, I do have another book of hers, and I'll try to read that, and hopefully that one's better. This was just so bland. I really didn't like it. But I really love doing the book review. I have a lot of fun doing these, and I'm really happy that I can do another one after so many years. I will be trying to do one book review a week. If you would like to see what I'm currently reading, go ahead and follow me on Twitter at author M.E. Kennedy, or you can look at the hashtag 1 year of books, which I will be using when I talk about what books I'm reading. I've been reading fairly quickly, so there'll probably only be one book review a week, but I'll probably be several books ahead by the end of the year. That's okay. I'm trying to read at least 52 books, and if I read more, that's great. And this way I can do a lot of book reviews for everyone. I really have fun with them, and hopefully you enjoy them. If you have any book suggestions, you can go ahead and leave them down in the description below, or the comment section. I don't know if I'll be able to necessarily purchase them, but it's definitely good to have an idea, and if I am able to get my hands on it, it'd be nice to get suggestions for different things to read. The next book review I will be doing is for Pawn of Prophecy by David Eddings. It is a fantasy novel. I will attempt to be doing not just romance novels, so hopefully it'll keep the content kind of varied for you. All right, well, thank you for watching. I had a lot of fun doing this, and I hope you had fun watching it, and I will see you next time. Bye.